I am Pastor Andre Knight, Director of Word of Life Network, and I'm also a medical missionary. And my ministry works along the lines of the gospel of Jesus Christ and the message of health and healing that God has for this world. So this is what we do in our ministry that comprises my family and when necessary, other individuals. So this is what we do and this is what we are about by God's grace.
Okay, that's wonderful. How long have you been in ministry?
13 years. 13 years, one wife, 3 children.
Wow, beautiful. So tell me a little bit about how what's the life of a medical missionary like?
Of earnestness, interest, and sacrifice. Because you have to be earnest in what you're doing, and it's not something that you can do for the motivation of money, but that you love helping people and you use it to better their life and their experience and to clarify their understanding of God and increase their relationship with Him. Therefore, you must be earnest and interested in those things. And also, as with the gospel of Jesus Christ is a life of sacrifice. You lose, but you gain so much more. And by losing, you have to be willing to, in a walk of faith with God, you must be willing to give up or sacrifice things that are good to be able to obtain that which is great. So often we remain at one level because we are unwilling to sacrifice the good to attain the great. And so this is why Christ laid down his life. And so he valued us so much that he sacrificed his life for us, that we too would know what it means to live eternally, which is great. So that's just the example of Christ. So this is the work and the focus of our ministry, to walk in the footsteps of Jesus Christ. And that has been quite a journey for the last 13 years, beginning with no children. My wife was pregnant. We came to Guyana to do missionary work in the interior, in the jungle. And that is where we got our children. And that has been quite a story and quite an experience. But 13 years we have been together in ministry, and I've been married for 14. I've been married for 14 of those 13 years.
Beautiful. That's awesome. So I'm a very new Bible student. I've been in how they say the faith for about, I want to say, a year.
Right.
And I've just started taking up studies on righteousness by faith. Can you tell me a little bit about what righteousness by faith actually is?
Righteousness by faith is how we live the Christian life. And so we can only live the life of righteousness if we believe that we can, and if we believe through understanding that God is going to give us the power to do it. And so that's it in its simplest form. Living righteously by faith is only made possible by us believing that it is possible, because we will only get from God what we believe that it is possible for us to receive from him. So if we believe that we are going to get nothing from God, the law of faith states, according to your faith be unto you, you get nothing from God, because you're actually believing God for. So if I'm over here believing God for nothing, I get nothing. But if I'm over here believing God for something, I get that something. Therefore, if I believe God for help in my Christian walk, I get help in my Christian walk. And that help comes because of God's grace and because I believe that I will be a recipient of that grace. So we only get from God what we believe we are going to get from him. So in this dance, we are leading. In this process, we are leading, because the ball is in our court. Since Christ came and died for us, the ball is now in our court. So Christ fulfilled his end, the bargain, and he still fulfills his duty. Our duty is to believe. That's what it is. And this is why it pleases God. It pleases God. Faith pleases God because we are now keeping up our end of the bargain. We are now accepting then the sacrifice that Christ has made for us. So the sacrifice of Christ will only be made, will only be, the sacrifice of Christ is only justified in our life if we believe that that sacrifice has worth and merit, and that with that sacrifice, he will give us the power to live the overcomer's life, to live the Christian life. So that's
That's
righteousness
a
by faith.
beautiful answer.